Hey, what's going on, family? This is your boy Jeremiah King. Welcome back to another episode of Bruh. All right, you are in the right place. If you are trying to figure out why in the hell men always are thinking about sex, this is going to be an interesting one. So I want you to take notes if you are just sitting down or if you're driving, just listen to what I got to say. If you are trying to understand why men do the things they do, but most importantly, why is it that every time that you're looking at a man and you find a man, all he wants from you is sex? So, in today's audio podcast, I am going to dive into 10 things. 10 things that are facts, that are scientifically and psychologically proven as to why guys only want sex. And then towards the end, I'm going to give you my three personal, true reality perspectives on why we, since I was a man, I am a man, currently a man, and I'm still thinking like a man, only wanted sex from females. So I'm going to confirm a lot of things to be true. So without further ado, let's jump in. So, according to evolutionary psychology, they believe that evolutionary theory suggests that men might be wired to seek out multiple sexual partners to increase the likelihood of passing on their genes. Right? So, this can sometimes result in a stronger focus on sex rather than emotional connection. This makes sense because realistically, as men, even though we do have emotions, we're not emotional creatures. We tend to hide our emotions. We're always hiding behind our feelings. And we can't really communicate our feelings because we suppress them. You females are more, a little bit easier to understand your emotions, which is why it's easier for you to either get irate when something happens or for you to communicate how you feel. Men, we do the opposite. So this one might be true. Let's think about that one for a minute. Let's get back to it. Number two, testosterone levels. Men generally have higher testosterone levels, right? Which increase their sex drive and make them more likely to pursue sexual relationships. This is true, right? We have testosterone off the charts. So we are always thinking about sex, right? We're always so damn macho and we just want to release. We're angry. We want to release. We're like Hulk. Just imagine Hulk in the bedroom. God damn. It is unfortunate, but testosterone does have that chemical factor inside of it to help us with the sex drive, which is why we're always thinking about sex. And when we see a sexy, fine woman, we want to have sex with her. And unfortunately for you, if you're female and you are looking at men, just know most times you might be thinking about sex. Number three. Number three is about reproductive strategy, right? Men and women have different reproductive strategies, of course. So for men, the cost of reproduction, time and energy, is generally lower. So they might be more likely to seek out short term sexual opportunities. This is true. I believe it to be true, right? Men and women are clearly distinctively different. And so when it comes to reproductive strategies, we just want to get it out the way and then move on to the next because of our fast response system. This is true. Number four, socialization, right? Society often teaches men to equate masculinity with sexual conquest. So this can lead to a focus on sex as a way to affirm their manhood or status among peers, which is why you probably always see men talking about sex with their boys, right? Or if they had sex with a girl last night, they need to know, bro, what happened, dog, bro? What happened? Did you do it? Did you get it? What's up? Tell me the story. Females are probably the same. Y'all talk about the man that you just had sex with last night, especially if you met him at a nice club, and one thing led to another. You create that story. For men, we have to let people know, yeah, we got it. I got it. Shit, I was just slinging that thing, and now I'm feeling better. That's the thing that we just like to do. So, yes, absolutely. This is true. Socialization, that is one of the reasons why we like to get it in and just that's all we think about. It's just trying to tell our boys, yep, yeah, I still got it. Yeah, I do my thing. I had like 10 bodies last week. That's just what I do. Bruh. If you had 10 bodies, if you got 10 bodies in a week, that's like more than one a day. Like, why are you having sex so damn much, man? I ain't got time for that. I'm over here trying to make money. I'm trying to get a business going. I'm not focused on that. Number five, emotional suppression. Man, some men may be taught to suppress their emotions or see vulnerability as a weakness. This can result in them prioritizing physical intimacy over emotional connection, right? As a way to avoid deeper emotional involvement. I affirm this to be true. Damn, they stole this one from me because I was actually going to tell you that later. It's true. We are trying to avoid emotional attachment because for some reason, I don't know why. We just we just suck at understanding our emotions, our feelings. I have no idea why. I don't even know why. Sometimes I'm trying to understand myself and my feelings, but I ain't got time for that. So I'm focused on different things like how to make money, how to make other people successful, right? As a coach, as a therapist, I'm trying to solve problems. But little do I know, I got so many emotions that I just don't. I'm not able to explain. I don't know what they are, right? So I'm always doing personal development, and I'm probably one of the most rarest people, men that you'll find who understand a little bit more about emotions and feelings than the average man. But nonetheless, this is very true. Emotional suppression is absolutely real. That's number five. Number six, my bad. Number six. I just had to drink a little bit of water right quick. Number six is attachment styles. Men with avoidant attachment styles might focus on sex as a way to engage in a relationship while keeping emotional distance. You know, for them, sex becomes a way to maintain a connection without getting too close emotionally. This is starting to coincide with the last one, number five, about emotional suppression. This is just almost verifying it to be true that we are just hiding our emotions, which is why sex is, for us, for you ladies, I know sex is emotional, it's intimate, right? It's love, it's passion. For men, it's not. It's actually the opposite. It's more logical, right? We're thinking about other things and how it can make us a little bit more stronger, our ego, feed our ego system. And so this is true that sex becomes a way to maintain a connection, still to get close, understanding that women still want that emotional connection, but for us, we're not interested. And but it's that distance factor. So we are doing it without getting too close emotionally. Hmm. That's a good one. Number seven is sex as a stress reliever. We know that sex is a release. It's obvious, right? It's not a secret that we know this to be true. But sex can be a way for men to relieve their stress and tension, which is why that's the first thing that they look for in a woman is how can you relieve my stress? Knowing that I'm always so damn tense and so battered through the world as I'm fighting for the world, fighting for success. I'm stressed out. I got my own bullshit I got to worry about. So, the number one way that we relieve is, of course, sex. And then we talk about the gym and other factors, but this is true. So, some may seek out, sex primarily for its calming and pleasurable effects rather than that emotional connection. Very true. Number eight, cultural expectations. In many cultures, men are often expected to be the initiators and pursuers of sex, which can lead to an overemphasis of sexual pursuit in their interactions with women. So this is true. Women are expecting us to lead the way, and the only way we can lead that way, lead it to where we want it to go, and hopefully where you want it to go, is making that apparent that we want sex. So it may make it seem like we're sleazing off or trying to all think about sex, but it's not the case. But that's the cultural expectation, especially in today's society. That is the only thing that makes sense for people is that sex is what runs the world. Kind of like kind of like Dunkin' Donuts, right? Dunkin' runs the world. Get it? No? No, I'm just messing with you. Whatever. You get what I'm talking about. That's number eight is cultural expectations. Number nine. Number nine is sex and self esteem. For some men, sexual success can be tied to their self esteem. This is very true. And engaging in sex can make them feel, validated and powerful or desired, which can drive a strong force or a strong focus on it, which is probably why you see a lot of men trying to get with you. They are trying to feed their ego. They're trying to validate their feelings and validate themselves as a man, become powerful, right? Desirable, right? Especially if you just look at me and you're like, oh, you seem nice. What else? What more do you got? We're thinking about it as, okay, how can I make her desire me? And the way I can do that is going straight for the jugular, right? That's sex. My dick. That's how we prioritize it. And it's unfortunate, but that's probably what's going on in your life. Why you starting to see more and more men just thinking about sex. Number 10 is media influence. Damn, this is, of course, number 10. Why wouldn't it be? It's true. Society and social media, particularly, they focus on that. That's just everywhere. Everybody's looking bad. Everyone got big butts and big breasts, and men are trying to show the six pack, and it's all sensual, right? Everything's sex, sex, sex. Sex runs the world. Sex sells. You ever heard of that? So the portrayal of men in media often emphasizes their sexual desires and, of course, their conquests, reinforcing that idea that men should prioritize sex. So this can shape how men think about and approach relationships with women, which is why you're starting to see men go for that. It's just nothing but sex. And for ladies, that's the complete opposite. That's not what your number one priority is. For some women are, right? I mean, society is playing a factor, it's influencing you guys' emotions and feelings on it, but it's very true that this is why most men, all they think about and all they want, for the most part, is sex from women. Now, let's talk about a very important three pieces of me and my perception based on my counseling sessions. And not only that, but myself as a man and why us guys only want sex. Number one is that we rely on sex to attract you to us. That's what we do. Kind of like that desirable effect, that sex appeal. We know that if we have sex with you, we are going to feel inspired and motivated and powerful, like I mentioned earlier. And we think that that's just all you guys, all you ladies want. So we go straight to the point so that way we can skip all the steps in between about what makes a relationship, and we go straight to the sex. That's number one. Number two is that most of the times we feel empty inside. We feel empty inside. That's that stress factor. And, so many things that we got that we're focused on and we're worried about. And we got so many problems that we haven't overcome these challenges. And which is why it's very important that woman join a man in his journey, not to correct him, but to help him, especially with his emotions. And so he feels empty inside. So the only way he can feel better is having constant sex, but it's temporary, which is why he's always pursuing it, kind of like that cycle. He's empty inside. So that's number two. Number three, last but not least, is that he has no other true skill to lure you to him. This is a big one. A lot of guys have lost the art of communication and they have no idea how to talk to men respectfully, but also enjoy the journey to a relationship or an intimate bond and connection. So they skip all that most important stuff because they don't have the skills. They don't have the skills. They don't understand how to take care of a woman or to communicate with a woman, not only verbally, but emotionally. Because as I mentioned earlier, it is about emotions. So he has no skill. So you can't really you can blame him, but you can't really. It's really society's fault because women also don't understand men. And there's many things that we'll talk about in later videos as to what women don't understand about men. But for men, and for my ladies, this is for you. But for men, we have no true skills. So that's all we know is what we are innately given by God, what we're innately given by the universe, and what we are designed to do, which is to create offspring. So we have no other skill, and that's why sex is always the number one thing that that men think about and what they are after, which is why you need to be careful and protect your heart. And I'm going to give you this bonus just because I love you and you stayed this long. So I want to tell you a bonus as to why guys only think about sex and only want sex from you. And it's not your fault, even though you do play somewhat of a factor, especially if you're looking good and you have everything that a man wants. But the true reason, and one of the main reasons why guys only want sex, is because they have nothing to offer. They have nothing to offer. They have absolutely zero value other than just the basics, which is why in one of my earlier videos I talked about how it's important to find a good man. Most men have not much to offer because they haven't learned, they're not experienced, nor do they care. Do they care about providing more than the value that is expected from men by a woman? So that is something that you need to consider, which is why you need to go back to one of my older videos when I mentioned that you need to find yourself a good man. Because if you don't, this is what you'll find. Now, I hope this was informational, and I hope that this helped you in some way, shape, or form to help you have a better clarity and understanding about how men think. And if you enjoyed this podcast, go ahead, give it a like, subscribe, follow for more, and share this. Share this to as many people as possible who are who are actually caught up in this cycle of either getting cheated on or finding men that all they want is sex. And send it to your girls, right? Or send it to a guy so that way this can confirm it to be true. And then you ask him about it. Ask him to verify if this list that I told you today is 100% true. All right. Welcome. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the podcast of Breath. If you stay for this long, I love you. I appreciate you. And I will make so much more videos regarding men, how we think, but more importantly, how relationships are so that way you can have the best peace of mind, happiness, joy, and peace that God has given you to enjoy. I'll see you on the next one.